for the second guy here. We're trying to prove that triangle ABD is congruent to triangle BBC. Again, looks like there's some markings in the diagram that we can mark up. We also know that our proof statement should be the last statement, our end goal. We have to think about how do we get there with everything in between. So if we look over at our statements, we do see that segment AD is parallel to segment CE, and that is shown to us in the diagram as well. So you got the arrows on them. Arrows mean parallel. Arrows do not mean congruent, so we cannot assume that those sides are congruent. So we do not have a pair of S's. We only know parallel. Our reason is given because it is shown in the diagram. If we look at our second line, that reason for number 2 is also given. So we have to look at the diagram for another piece of given information. Well, it looks like we got tick marks on segment DB and segment CB. That looks like given information as well. So we can mark that those guys are congruent. Segment DB is congruent to segment CB. And just like before, we can write down below that we've got a pair of S's. These are sides, so I've got a pair of blue S's. Now they are telling us in statement number 3 that angle DAB is congruent to angle CEB. So if we look at our diagram and mark that up, angle D to A to B is this guy right here in green. They're saying it's congruent to angle CEB, C to E to B, this angle in green. They're telling us that, but we don't have a reason for it yet. We have to think about how can we say that? Well, we do have some parallel lines, and when we have parallel lines, we want to look for that letter Z. The parallel lines and the transversal, they make a letter Z. And that's important because when we have the letter Z, the corners of the Z make alternate interior angles. And we know some things about alternate interior angles when we have parallel lines cut by a transversal. They're going to be congruent. So that's actually what our reason is. Parallel lines, you have to look out for those special reasons. These guys are alternate interior angles. When the segments are parallel, being cut by that transversal AE. So that's our reason for number 3, alternate interior angles. When we look at number 4, there's no statement or reason to help us out here. So we're going to have to think about this diagram. What other information can we gather? And once again, just like the last example, we see some angles that are across from each other. Angle ABD, that guy in purple, and angle CBE, those are our pair of vertical angles. Those are, again, super important that we use throughout the year. When we see those, we want to make sure we mark them up. Angles across from each other. So now we have a second pair of angles. And that's something that we can write down for our statement and reason. We've got those 2 angles. Our reason would be vertical angles are congruent. When we name those angles, it's super, super important that we use 3 letters. We cannot call those guys angle B because there's more than one angle at that vertex. So you have to use 3 letters when naming the 2 angles here. So angle ABD would be congruent to angle EBC. And that reason is vertical angles are congruent. So So now we get to the last line of the proof where we can now show the two triangles are congruent. But we need to think about how that is. So again, we've got our pairs of sides and angles. We have a blue pair of sides, a green pair of angles, and a purple pair of angles. And again, super, super important, our order matters. So let's cover up one of those triangles and kind of go around the triangle and see which order our A's and S's go in. So if we cover up one of the triangles, it looks like we have a green angle, then the purple angle touching the blue side. That side is not in between the angles. We do not have an ASA. The sides only touching one angle. This is an AAS. Our order is our green A, then our purple A, then our blue S. So this is an angle, angle, side. Again, it's super, super important that you put that congruent symbol after your AAS. Angle, angle, side,